Somebody left.
Official now.
Oh, you saw it? Yeah, never mind.
Everyone, thank you so much for attending to the Somers Town Board work session starting here at 7:07 on Thursday, September 7th, 2023. I'd like to make a motion to open up public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Is there anybody out here for public comment? Is there anybody out there, Paul, on Zoom for public comment? Okay, if there's no one out there for public comment, then I'll make the motion to close public comment.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. This moved down to the business of the town board. First, before we start, I would like to, let me just make sure I have it here. A letter that was sent to us. We, a lot of times in a day and age where a lot of things, a lot of bad things out there. I kind of want to just share some good things about one of our police officers, Craig Siegel. A woman wrote us a letter, wrote it to the chief. Dear Captain, last Thursday, in the midst of a torrential downpour, thunder and lightning, my husband and I were struck between Mahopac Avenue and Liberty Way due to our vehicle stalling. Officer Siegel saw us in the middle of the road and asked if we were all right. We said no. He called for a tow truck. A good Samaritan pulls up behind the police car and tells the Officer Siegel that our vehicle is leaking gas. He rushed over, making us vacate the vehicle as if lightning hits the gasoline and our truck will explode. He sat us in the police car and called the firehouse to clean up the spill. And then she was writing to let you know that the Officer Siegel went above and beyond. He took control of the unfortunate situation. We would like him to get recognized for outstanding performance, compassion, and dedication to his position on the police force. Officer Siegel took us home with our groceries. My husband and I would like to know, like you to know, that we appreciate his good deed and kindness. And that was from one of our residents here. So I wanted to read that. It's always nice to see one of these come across your desk. So I just want to share that for everybody. So that's our little bit update for this evening.
Thank you, Officer Siegel.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. On to number 2, telecommunications task force. Councilman Anthony Sirico, if you can give us an update, that'd be outstanding.
Just a quick few remarks. I mean, there are a few projects that are ongoing. I mean, one is the double pole project. We've been getting updates from Laura Reed. It looks like we're progressing well. We just need to have another meeting. I mean,
Yep.
the frequency and movement is happening. Hopefully, we are seeing poles come down. Last month, we introduced some code to streamline cell tower upgrades for equipment. Again, that's part of the task force. It's working. We all approved that as a board. I guess that's going to be legislated into our code shortly. And thirdly, I just want to mention that over the years, when we were going through all this task force work, everybody's looking for fiber optic service for internet. I could say that Altice and Verizon are both expanding their networks into Somers. And if the residents are interested, call the carriers. All right, call the carriers. I know myself, I got fiber optic service from Altice on my block, and it's working fine. I mean, and up and down speeds are equivalent, 500 meg. And I know that Verizon has done some work in some of the other locations in town. So again, pursue them. I mean, that's really the idea. I mean, it's not this is not really something that town, legislates, but, we've advocated for the services and they're in the rollout period. So again, ask them, call them if you want that service, and that does it.
And when you say Altice to the average person, they're thinking Cablevision, Optimum, but that's really.
Yes, it's all three. It's Altice. And, their priority right now is to roll out the aerials, where there's aerial access, right, on the poles. I think you're probably in phase 2 if you have underground access to your house. But call them, let them tell you that.
Yeah. And with the Verizon, though, as we all know, for years, You know, why is the town stopping Verizon from bringing TV to my house? Which Verizon has said many times, even to Councilman Garrity to his face. And that
Yep.
does not include TV. So, but it is, I guess, phone service and internet, Anthony?
Yeah,
Yes, but I just think it's an internet.
yeah, you can't get the triple play. I have,
No.
I have, phone and internet,
Yeah.
but they blend it down. That's like, you're right. You're 100% right, Richard.
And, you know, as you mentioned that that just came up in one of the complaints. I mean, for their service people, for whatever reason, are on that narrative, and it's absolutely not true.
Yeah.
Is that?
I'm sorry.
No, it's not true.
No, there's no truth.
So,
We would welcome them. Who wouldn't want more competition, for gosh sake?
Right.
Please.
Okay.
all right.
All right, next up here, yeah, the House of Worship and not-for-profit street signs, discussion. This came before us from the Architects Review Board, dated August 25th, 2023. There was an attached copy of a resolution from the town board dated August 15th, going all the way back to 2014 regarding a policy for houses of worship and not-for-profit street signs. Maybe you guys can shed some light on this for me. I mean, I know you guys were here back then. Like to talk about this this resolution that yeah, this memo that came before the town board. So if you guys have anything to offer on this, that'd be great.
You know, from my perspective, like Church of Good Shepherd, when they have events, you know, like charity events, or they're trying to raise money, plant sales and so on, always want to put some sort of temporary sign out. So I don't know, I was gonna read,
Temporary.
is this,
No, but
is this kids?
This, I think I remember this goes back, 'cause I think we did.
2014.
Yeah, we had a meeting actually at the Shenorock Community Center where it came up, because we were telling some people that they had to take signs down, and then they came in, these people came in and said, well, why did the churches all get to have their signs up? And we realized that they're nonprofits and houses of worship, and we got together and said, okay, well, we don't want it just to be anywhere, so we wanted to put some framework around it, and that's why this resolution was we came up with. I mean, Patty, I think that's more or less how it happened.
Yeah, okay.
So what are we saying? Are we saying that I mean, I see that this is from St. Joseph's asking,
St. Luke.
St. Luke's,
Father Mike,
Luke's.
Right.
No longer here.
no longer here. for us.
He's not?
No,
Oh, he's not?
no,
Oh,
I didn't know.
Yeah.
and
he's down south.
Oh, I like him.
so, and I guess my question is this, I applaud St. Luke's for coming in and going through the process. But there's, yeah, but it's a state road, which we have very little say over, actually none. We can help the process, but also on town roads, you know, it indicates here that there might be some of the other churches have signs up that haven't gone through the process. Again, I don't know if those are on state roads or if those are on town roads. If they're on town roads, you know, we should try and remedy that situation.
I agree with that. I mean, I think, you know, the question here is how should the situation be handled, right? So they've put street signs without going through the approval process. And so we had to figure out how we should handle that situation.
Well, what Patty, and
I mean,
Patty would know this probably. Pat, if they put something up on a state road, we can't say yeah or nay to it. That would be the state that would have to come down to if they remove. So if it's on a state road, we're out of the picture. Yeah, that's what I thought. So if they're on state roads, we really have no authority.
But the issue that they enforce rules, right? That's in the state and local rules.
Yes.
yeah, there's business.
Even though it's on a state road,
It's like, so like anything out here, you know.
we still have authority then.
They, not that we have authority,
Oh.
we dictate to what they can and can't have.
But this is the request for permanent or temporary signs here.
Well,
Permanent signs saying where the churches are, I'm assuming.
and they have a point, I think, when they say according to the resolution or the code, that it's necessary to permit for only 2 years. I think they have a point, you know, they're not going out of business. Most of these malls, they're doing their thing. I'm not sure that would be necessary to approve that only for 2 years. I think it's interesting also that I guess Nick suggested some signs that 24 by 30 is too big, but 18 by 24 is the appropriate size. If the Architectural Review Board agrees with that, I'm fine too.
I'm not-
What are the nature of the signs that they're requesting?
So I know in Shenorock, do we have the Hebrew congregation signs?
Mhm.
There's one on Bridge and I think there's one on Overhill, just kind of directing you to
Yeah.
Where it is.
where it is. I'm not sure, is there one on Grand Springs Road for Church of Good Shepherd?
Yes, but
Is-
there's actually, well, no,
Oh,
there's one on the state road. There's one on
yeah.
22.
No, I don't,
There's one at that intersection of Tomahawk and 202 and
Okay, yeah, I couldn't remember if it was one.
there is, but it's just a friendly sign
All right, it's just like,
for here.
you know, yeah,
a
like
friendly
one in
sign.
Shenorock,
Yeah.
white with blue lot.
We'll put that in the code.
Friendly
We allow
and
friendly
welcoming.
sign.
Got a smile on it.
well, you know, I just,
I mean, ultimately, I don't know, state, we can indicate what the size and everything that we would be okay
But
with.
this came about because a for-profit in Shenorock had their signs.
Yes, back
Directing them to their building.
years ago.
Yes.
Yes.
So this resolution came about because we said, no, you can't do that. Well, why can't we? Hebrew congregation does. Well, then they said, you said, non-for-profits and house of worship. That's it. With these guidelines.
so how is these sign requests? It looks like the permanent signs different than signs that we worked out with, when we were working with Renati down, down the Route 100. Kind of set this whole thing up with the white signs and the certain height. If they conform to that, why wouldn't that work for them?
I think those signs here were because of the
But
Native
there's-
historic district
Right.
and that they should fit in the character of it. But it was not intended for general use, I don't think, in town. That was the discussion I had at that.
So
And
this,
what Patty's saying is.
Is for-
signs- We're looking at two issues.
Vacancies.
We're looking at two issues. We're looking at issues outside of the historic district and we're looking at inside the historic district. Even
Right.
if it's on a state road, we can go back and say, okay,
Mhm.
you can have this, you can put the sign up, here's what we want. We want it this size, whatever. But then outside on town roads, we want to make sure that there's rules about that as well.
So this is also in the town right away. I mean, if they desire to put this sign, in front of their church or set back a bit, they could do it, right?
Yeah.
If it's on private property.
I mean, my guess is they want it either farther down. They don't want it right in front of the church because when you go there, you're gonna know it's St. Luke's.
Well, I would assume, yeah, they wanted to say.
Yeah, we're here on this.
They
way,
want
St.
they want a
Luke's.
directional.
Right.
directional
Yeah,
sign.
that's what I'm figuring. So the ask is what, from the architecture review?
18 by 20, at least it seems to be they're asking for 18 by 24 permanent signs and to limit the.
They want,
fluorescent
they want.
colors.
Oh,
I want
okay.
to add something
Right.
too, right?
And limit.
They want to do
The colors.
It is necessary to issue a permit for only 2 years. Almost all of these signs to date are for houses of worship and not non-for-profits that have been and will continue to be in existence for quite some time. In addition, the resolution should state that fluorescent colors are not permitted. It should be limited what the sign can say. Name, logo, address, phone number, no swing mounted signs are permitted. And the signs cannot be lit.
So, and this is going to be limited to houses of worship,
And nonprofit.
but nonprofits get.
It's an addition to
Wait.
what already exists
Yeah.
in the town.
Yeah, they
Or
want-
a clarification, I should say.
Resolution. And the current resolution is for both houses of worship.
Yeah, and also if it's on the same road, right, how many signs can you actually have on that same road?
Right.
You can't have 15 signs, right? You know,
Right.
every 30 feet or every
Signs
feet.
go in the right of way.
They're attached to our current streets. It's currently what was
Yeah.
there is just kind of attached to the current street sign. It's like under it. There's no arrows. It's just
So,
the ones that I know of, it just says like Hebrew congregation.
Right.
And so kind of, I guess, to then turn down Bridge Lane to get to it, but there's no arrow.
Yeah.
And then there's one up further when you come in the other end.
So the highway superintendent knows about these signs.
Yeah, they've been there forever.
and we also have like
Can
the
you
Somers
grandfather
Lit a
that in?
task force signs.
Roland, can you grandfather those in? Signs that have already been existing for a certain amount of period?
Not really, because it's up to the highway superintendent to determine what road signs go in the right of way.
Okay.
So your next highway superintendent could have a different view of it. I
Right.
don't think there's any grandfather.
I mean, do we decide this stuff?
No, we don't. This was just for
Discussion. I like.
this was just for
Yeah.
discussion.
Yeah.
So we'll just see where we're at.
I mean, there's a lot of overlapping considerations here.
And I'm
It's kind of set,
whoever put those signs up. You know, I don't think the town did.
So I think we need to identify what signs have
So the,
up.
the
well,
chair,
we have the Somers Littus Task Force. Interestingly enough, Stewart's Apple Orchard has signs. I think were put up by the county. Directional. They're-
Oh,
the
Yeah.
fringe.
just so you know, the secretary of the
And
architecture
sign.
board just sent me a note basically saying that the chair of the architecture board was supposed to be at the meeting tonight, but I guess he couldn't make it because
Okay.
he wanted to clear it up. So maybe we could postpone it until
We can.
next week and then see if he can make it.
Okay.
Why don't we do that and then during public comment, make a comment and give them a few minutes.
Well, not even public comment.
Not even public.
Put it on the
comment,
agenda.
put on the
you can come
agenda, yeah.
up and tell- And make it clear.
We'll just put on the agenda and have them clarify.
Yep, sounds good.
So do we have Rhinoceros Creek signs? Mike?
Hmm?
I just.
Michael?
Michael.
Oh. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want, yes, we do have Rhinoceros Creek signs, but we went through the process with the Architectural Review Board.
All right.
We knew you would, Michael.
Of course, Michael.
Of course,
We had no doubt.
it was actually helpful.
Right. So let me, let's go on to number 4 here. Authorize supervisor to approve the additional SMS feature to the Code Red messaging system, which ensures that all text messages sent from the system are delivered as quickly and efficiently as possible and would avoid being blocked by cell phone carriers, setting in the amount of $500 per year. This year, the cost of that additional feature would be prorated per August 25th, 2023 email from Tammy Sava, Junior Administrative Assistant. We've been using the Code Red a little bit more as of late, especially when we had the heat wave or notifying people of emergency purposes. I think it's a good thing that we have. As you know, everybody is glued to their cell phone. Most people get the messages there. And I think it's well worth the investment of
I do too.
the 500.
You know, and it is. I'm just surprised when we adopted this and we're talking to another company in New York City and trying to figure out what to do. I'm just surprised they charge you more to do what seems to be in common sense. Like, all right, you have the ability to do this. Why haven't you done this? Why have they been blocked? How long have you known they've been blocked? And if you have the ability to undo it, why are you charging us for that? I mean, to me, that just seems like that's part of your service. Or else they're gonna say, oh no, you can have a message. If you'd like it sent out, it'll cost you more money. That just doesn't make sense to me. I mean, I have no problem if this is fair and, you know, I'm sure Tammy has talked to them many times. It's just one of those things we go, really? Somebody else will make more money out of you?
Well, make that case to them, you know, Rich.
Yeah, well, you know, we're talking to Seamless. That's what it was about.
I mean, I don't disagree with your point.
Yeah,
I mean, oh, by the way.
I just assumed that they were going through.
Well,
I
you
guess
have to start-
we're getting them if we were setting them up.
Enter code red. I didn't get it. You hear the sound of silence.
Yeah,
So how does this work, though? They essentially circumvent some sort of blocking.
that's what's interesting.
capability?
I don't know.
You're the telecommunications guy.
I don't know.
Yeah, there you go.
IT guy.
Yeah,
You know, so I'll make the motion to authorize supervisor to approve the additional SMS feature.
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. All righty. Let's go on to number 5, authorize supervisor to enter into the intermunicipal agreement IMA with the town of Southeast for the exchange and transfer of certain equipment deemed of equal value retro to August 25th, 2023. I'll make the motion to authorize supervisor to enter into the agreement.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved.
and these are items for the highway department and.
Correct.
The transfer to benefit both.
Yep.
Brewster and.
Freightliner, just certain things like a Freightliner truck, tractor, bucket truck, which is going to be very important for us. We've been looking for a bucket truck for quite some time, so these are things that we can use here in the town, and we're going to enter into those agreements. So I think it's a great thing for us. Okay, number 6, consider adoption of resolutions proclaiming the town support for 30 by 30 and commits to work in tandem with the agencies and partners charged with implementing the state's conservation goal. In addition, the town will commit to redouble its own 30 by 30 efforts to protect at least 30% of the ecological important lands and waters within Somers by 2030. I would like to open up discussion, and Rich, you presented this to us, and if you want to give it, and I believe we have some people online as well that can speak to this as well.
Yeah, you got Michael, Jan
Hey,
and Gail.
Rich, before you speak to it, can you just comment, where are we now? What percentage? Aren't we at a high percentage?
About 28%.
28%.
Yeah,
We're
okay.
talking about, according to at least what Michael had told us, about another 300 and something acres.
Okay, good.
Which might be within several large tracts of land that people are looking to build on, whether it be an IBM or Pepsi or somewhere else, where you're looking to protect that. So we're talking about a few hundred acres.
So Richard, we have a plan in front of us now, trail side.
I mean, it's
The
taking
20
out
acres
60.
count towards it?
I would guess Michael would know better.
Mike, we have a plan that at the initial stages, and part of the deal is that he's gonna take 20 acres and put a conservation easement on it. So would that 20 acres be part of the 30-30?
Yeah, I'm aware actually of that proposal because it's coming before our committee. Yeah, as long as it is a protected open space. I mean, there's some debate about how to define protected open space, but if it's deed restricted and enforced, generally we do count that as protected open space. So those 20 acres, I included in our calculations things like Greenbrier is 188 acres because they are deed restricted, and there are some others as well, and they're also significant. The trail side thing, since it borders the North County Trailway, I think is significant open space, and it would be, I think it's a no-brainer to include that. So yeah, I think Rich is right. I mean, we could certainly reach 30%, I think, relatively easily. I mean, one way we could reach it, of course, is to absorb the land that Lincoln Hall was talking about divesting itself of. I mean, that would be in one blow. We would hit 30%. So, and it depends on how you calculate this thing. I mean, my 28%, it's possible we're slightly higher than that, but that's a good rough estimate, I think, of where we are.
So just maybe you could just very briefly, 30, 30, 30, what does it mean and what defines each one of those categories?
Okay, so the current proposal is to join, the US government has gotten on board, as has the New York State government, with what's called 30 by 30, which is to protect 30% of the nation's lands and waters by 2030. The theory behind all this is based on what's called island biogeography, and it's a measure really of the land necessary in order to sustain.
You're skipping there, Mike.
Michael's frozen here.
It's clipping.
Is that just for dramatic effect?
How it works, you was able to hear everything where you didn't have to talk, and now.
Yeah. I know.
Well, while he's coming back, let me just fill in that. So back around April, May or so, Jen and Gail and Michael had a meeting here with the Open Space Committee and the Land Trust people, because they're anonymous. And the author, and I think Rob has the book,
Yeah.
an author who has written a book about the importance of the earth, of just having open space for the biodiversity and protection of the ecology. And that, interestingly, in that conversation, while he was here talking about that, it's not a hard proposition for those who think forward in the future. It's not a hard proposition to protect things. And his argument was, as a scientist, is that as long as there's open space that is protected, nature will protect itself, sort of keep things in balance. And in that conversation, it came up that Somers was very close to that. And that's how this developed back then. And so at that time, this place was filled. Mike was there, and Jan and Gail. And so there was some support, like, hey, wouldn't that be nice? Does it obligate us to anything? No, it's a statement of aspiration that says, here's what Somers is about. And as it says in the draft from Michael, that I'm sure Jan and Gail had input with, it says that, Somers has a tradition over the last several years or several decades of trying to do what most people would say is the right thing and protecting what we have. And people in Somers like that rural environment that does protect open spaces, woods, nature. We certainly are in a very sensitive water area, not only for here, but for New York City and everybody that draws water out of the reservoir system. So we have an obligation there to maintain that. And Somers has been proud to be part of that. And this draft resolution simply states that's our what we're looking to do in the future, is to find areas where we can protect space, and that's it. And interestingly, I did a little research and talking to the Association of Towns in Albany, and saying, do you have any samples that we could use? Because we are interested perhaps in having such a resolution. And so they said in Albany, well, no one has adopted one yet. So if you do, please send it to us and we will then distribute it. We did find a sample out in Colorado and sort of base it on that. And Michael and the committee has pieced it together here.
Do we know how this will affect grants or getting us higher on the list when it comes to NYSERDA and those type of things?
That's a good point, is that there are grants to do this, to protect this space. Now, it's hard to buy land in this area. So I've been told that you can't expect that it's, here's going a couple of million, protect some acres, would you? But there is that. And in addition, as we know, there are NYSERDA grants that are based upon other environmental policies. Last month, we talked about the stretch code.
Correct.
And we got points for that. And I would presume, though I can't say that I know, maybe Michael, Jan, or Gail knows, that there would be points available for that in that scoring system that allows us to access money through NYSERDA and other state agencies. And that's one of the arguments that was brought up, is that would be an advantage of this also. You're right. So we're just waiting for Michael to come back.
I'm curious though, Rich, you said it doesn't obligate us, but then later on you said, well, we're obligated to do a few things. It says right here, the state's conservation goals working in tandem with. That's going to mean reporting. That's going to mean hours of our employees working on that reporting. That's going to mean our employees having meeting. If we want to have a goal of 30, 35%, 40% in Somers, that's fine for us to do. But I'm concerned about the unintended consequences of what might out of this. In other words, New York City was very happy to establish itself as a sanctuary city years ago. And that's not working out for them so well right now. And until we know a little bit better what the responsibilities and costs are for us, I don't want to assume it's just nothing, because there's already a few things here that we've talked that are a cost to us. What's the upside?
I understand
Why is there an upside?
Yeah, I understand your concern. And if that is, we are required to report that, and we have to meet that standard, then I would probably agree with you. But this is a statement about what Somers believes and what Somers is going to do. And if it makes you feel better about taking out any connections with the state or anything like that, I don't think it would change the basic nature of this. It is what Somers believes and what Somers plans to do. And by protecting several hundred more acres, we go into the vanguard, into the forefront, unwittingly, in the state of New York, saying, here's things that can be done, that we believe should be done. And the argument is compelling. And it is our belief, if the town board agrees with that, that this is a good thing. And it's a good thing in our town. It's not about anyone outside the town. Several years ago, for example, the state recommended that the town adopt complete streets, which says that we believe when we build streets, they should be for pedestrians, for bikers, and for cars. We adopted the resolution. It doesn't require us to do anything, nor do we report on it. It is what we say we aspire to, even to the point where it annoyed me when they redid 202 right out in front here. We had just adopted the resolution on the recommendation of the state, and they came through and didn't make any accommodation for bikes or pedestrians. We go, what the heck? So I understand your point, and it's a good one, but I don't think that it obligates us to anything except our promise, our aspiration to do what I think many, including myself, would say is the right thing to do. Let's protect nature going forward.
And it may not obligate us to do anything today, but in the future, it
Well, it's a resolution,
So-
so it's never gonna obligate us to do anything. I mean, it's a
Yeah,
resolution.
so a
We don't
resolution,
send this to anybody.
Roland, just saying if I got this wrong, I mean, a resolution doesn't legally obligate us to do anything. It essentially expresses that the board is of one mind in these concepts. As each one comes before us, we vote independently, and
Correct.
I can essentially say, I'm not going to adopt that for this, But, just to your point, though, understanding what the starting point is, I think we all, I kind of think this is a good idea. However, when I look at, well, what does 30% mean? You got to have a starting point, and that takes a little bit more work. Michael may have done some of that.
Paul,
Think
can
it's-
Paul, can you let Michael in, Paul? He's waiting in the waiting room.
Yep, stand by.
We're going yellow over there
Yeah.
when he's going in, so there's something
Good complexion.
is conflicting here.
These are good discussions. This one.
You-
Or Gail and Jan, if you want to weigh in, you can go right ahead.
Yeah, I mean, again, I think Roland
Michael,
just said it.
I think Michael's in. Michael, are you
Yes.
there?
There's Michael.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm here. Sorry about that.
But Michael, we had our whole discussion. Sorry you missed. it.
We talked about you the entire time, all this.
So Michael, you essentially with with Dave went through sort of an inventory of what constitutes 30% of open space.
Yeah,
Is that a yes, right?
yes, that's a yes.
And so the open space has to be deed restricted. Or is
It has
that,
to be deed restricted or protected in some other way, either by conservation easement or by, statute, something like that.
so let's bring us back to the Trailway Estates. There's 59 acres there that's completely open, pristine. We're gonna take, maybe 30 of it and entertain a proposal to build something and then take another 20
20
acres and say, we're gonna make that a conservation easement. So the fact that I did something with the first tranche of acres doesn't affect this 30-30 concept.
No, I mean, it's 30% of all land and waters. So whatever we protect, as long as it is permanently protected, counts.
So if
But
I
Michael, I
say it another way, like if I was to build out all my zoning as I'm legislatively allowed to do, and I leapfrog, do that, I would still have 30%, almost 30% right now.
Yeah, but your zoning can change.
I understand that, but I'm just trying to give a benchmark. I mean,
Yes.
but even,
without changing the zoning. I mean,
even more so, Michael, I think what
We're about
What Councilman Tirico is getting at too is that right now that 59 acres is not protected. It's not included in the 30-30-30 because there's no easements or anything on it. So it would be a net gain of 20 acres.
Correct.
Okay.
I mean, look, when we adopt all these things, I worry about the sustainability, all the water and whatever, on the aquifer and so on, to support the future density that might be presented with us. We have properties that large pieces of property, like you alluded to, with Lincoln Hall. Everybody wants, wants density, but in effect, I think, we need to balance that out somehow.
Absolutely. I think we have to have the resources to sustain what might come in the future.
I
No
think
question.
if the town adopts this also, as proposals come to us, as they will undoubtedly, and even when this board is here, the next board is here, there always will be proposals by people seeking to make money or think they're going to improve things with this or that. But this would give the town board now and in the future saying, wait,
A roadmap.
this is a roadmap, right? This is what we believe in. You have to operate within that philosophical, ecological, whatever you want, environmental framework to fit in with us. And that would give any proposal by a builder, developer, okay, that's the kind of town I'm going to, just like the stretch code says that. Just like our new composting. We're interested in things like that. But I think that says something to the people who are here and the people who will be here in the future.
So, but to Bill's point, the baseline is, the work for the baseline has been done,
Oh, yeah.
right? So we essentially, it's just that, we're looking at this right now and I just don't have that at our fingertips here. That would be helpful
Michael,
to understand what that 30-30-30 is.
Michael, what's the number? How many more do we need? 3 something?
We need like 332 acres by my calculation.
Spam,
Yeah.
spam.
I got-
Code red.
I got a code red.
Is it a code red? It works already.
They said, good, you approved the 500. Now we'll send out your code red. They're watching.
Here's the last 6 years, all at once.
Feather, I think, my area.
Okay, that's good.
Funny.
So Beth, you said 3:30, okay.
Yeah, Mike,
Yeah,
I appreciate
3:30.
Gail and Jan, I appreciate you working on this. I think it's I think it's a great resolution. I think it's something, everybody should strive for if we can, permanently protect some of these spaces. I'm very happy to hear that, people are saying 30% is sort of the guideline and we're already at 28, which means that almost unknowingly, we've sort of followed these guidelines. So putting it into a resolution, I think is just something that strengthens it even more. So as always, we appreciate everything you guys have done.
I mean, the
And-
reality, when if you don't define it as deed restricted, I mean, we have much more 30% of open spaces right now that we all enjoy.
But it doesn't mean that they would stay that way.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But
that's
the thing, Tom, is that it was surprising when the gentleman was here, and Michael knows his name, Jan and Gail knows, I forgot.
Tony Hiss.
Tony Hiss, right. So he's pretty famous, I found out after the meeting and reading his book. The thing is, it doesn't really prescribe where you should protect it, nor even what kinds of, just the fact that you've protected is enough to sort of sustain us going forward. And I think there were 2 surprising things. One, it wasn't particularly prescriptive. And 2, we're really close to it.
Yeah, no, that's what I thought, that's why I asked you the number at the beginning, because I knew we were very close.
Yeah.
So two quick questions. Stewart's Apple Orchard, that's in the, that's part of the.
Correct.
restriction.
Yeah.
But what
Yeah.
about, let's say Stonewall Estates? It's an agricultural
No, it's
overlay.
not
but
protected.
It's not protected. You could sell it to a developer.
Yeah, that's
Even-
800 acres right there.
And it's a scenic, it's also designated scenic. Does that create any designation
No,
No,
protection?
no,
that just means that the town right away goes in like 20 feet instead of 10 feet. So if you're
Yeah.
doing something within like 20 feet of the road, you have to get approvals. And all.
Was there?
Is that right?
Is that right, Roland?
Believe so.
Hey, there you go. Look at
Like this.
I'm rolling. That 8 years on planning and zoning helped.
There you go. Look at you.
Be what?
Is
I think
that
I'm good with it.
your concerns?
Not completely, because we were dickering over some of the numbers.
Michael?
Here. What is this?
Mhm.
Hey, Michael, you there?
I'm here.
To-
Real question for you I got the draft here, just if you can clarify this for me. So it says, therefore be it resolved that the town of Somers proclaims its support for 30 by 30 and commits to work in tandem with agencies and partners changed with implementing the state's conservation goal.
I think
Can you
that's
just-
just free
what-
of charge, yeah.
A charge, sorry, yeah. Who are those agencies?
The
Who are we-
DEC, and the, people that, the work on the Hudson River Estuary Corridor, because I think that those are going to be the folks that we're going to be partnering with, probably, But it's also other partners. You know, as I said, we are part of an umbrella group, a conservation organization called H2H, Hudson to Housatonic. You know, one thing I'm hoping is that if you guys adopt this, it becomes a model and we can take it to that organization, which has connections all over Connecticut and New York, and try to get, you know, get the members there to push it in their localities as well. So I think we have the potential to really have an impact. So those are the kinds of, I'm not just thinking of governmental organizations. I'm also thinking of nonprofits and land conservation organizations and things like that.
So, you know, I think when you say work in tandem, we're just thinking it implies a lot of work.
Well,
That we're
not on
committing
your
to, and
part.
that's, and you're retiring, right?
I'm not yeah, I'm retiring from teaching.
Really?
Okay.
Well,
Congratulations.
Yeah, as soon as possible. We'll see.
Where will the philosophical minds go without you?
I'm sure they'll be fine.
Why is there air?
We'll have to,
Where is Barnhart? All these
Yeah.
things.
Mr. Supervisor,
we'll have to read
but-
we'll have to read cheesy stoic, sort of, or watch Kung Fu.
I was fine a little while ago.
But Michael, on what, on the supervisor just asked you, does that by that part there, the last therefore be it resolved, and Bill's concern, does that obligate us
Obligate us.
to do things that we would not otherwise want to do? Or is it just saying we will partner with them if they want to know what we're doing, or we want to encourage them, or we will have a choice each step along the way?
Or could it obligate us in the future?
Well, I think that it's always a matter of choice on the part of the town board or any other agency that's part of town government, how it's going to get involved. But it does, you know, it does announce that, as Rich was saying before, philosophically, right, that we are committed to
You can.
trying to implement the 30 by 30. Right now, the DEC has no, I think what we're talking about here is always going to be voluntary anyhow. You're going to have to apply for it. You're going to be in competition with a bunch of other municipalities and counties and so forth, and organizations across the state for funding. So I don't think we're talking about any situation where we would have to do something we don't want to do.
No, we're not.
So I just think to Bill, just to I know what you're saying, right? But
Mhm.
we can always amend this. We can always rescind it.
Like down the road.
Down the road, if we don't like what policies come down the road, we can always say, hey, listen, things have changed, and we can always amend it or rescind it.
I
So,
understand.
so
For now,
so we're still in a position of strength if we, you know, if we do it. We're just telling the town, hey,
Right?
listen, this is our roadmap. This is our game plan. This is what we're trying to be committed to get that 30 by 30.
Mhm.
So listen, I think it's a great initiative.
so do
I think it's a great thing for the town. It's something that shows people that, yes, there may potentially be development there, but we're still on the back burner, on our back of our mind, that we still have this conservation goal in our forefront, in our foresights as well. So
Mm.
I think it's a good thing, and I'm all for it. And knowing that I can rescind or amend, I'm good with it.
Look, from a practical standpoint, this committee will be, you know, working with other agencies, and they're going to bring ideas to us.
Right.
And that's, the more ideas we have, the better we are.
So I
think
would
it
suggest we
also-
act on it tonight.
Yeah.
What's that?
I think we have a consensus here.
Well,
All
this is-
right.
Michael, you want to?
Oh, there's
I just wanted to say that, you know, it also gives the Open Space Committee a sense of direction, I think. And,
Of course,
an
of course.
ability to plan and target.
this, right?
agree.
This.
Yeah, it's the teacher.
Mr. Supervisor,
Uh,
I make a motion.
Yeah, that's, but just one thing, there's Rich brought it to my attention in the, on the first page, the second to last paragraph. To cross out the word through, and also cross out the word but important.
I think it should read, and this is, as I said to you earlier today, this is sort of an irrelevant detail. Sometimes I can't help myself with wording. Whereas large sections of Somers remain as vital, unprotected, natural open space, and that if protected would further New York State and the US's 30 by 30 goals. Therefore, be it resolved. So it's just,
Yep, I'm gonna send you the page.
Yes, I have one for you.
Would you like?
I'm not
That's-
doing it for the rest of the country, though.
There you go.
And
Yeah.
I,
Uh-huh.
I'm doing it for us.
and I'll be with them. AOT.
Oh, okay, okay. Oh, you will be. All right, good. I don't know who I talked to up there.
When you want to touch this up and adopt it next week.
No, just do
I
it
thought-
with-
I'll-
as amended.
I'd like to make the motion to adopt the resolution of the town of Somers to support the New York State's 30 by 30 conservation goal with the amendments that we just read out loud.
Second,
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Abstain.
They'll abstain. Number 7, we have an add-on here.
I just want to thank these guys. They
Yeah, thank you.
tremendous, do so much work. It's just needs to be recognized.
Yeah,
Thank you,
Well,
guys.
so much.
it's a small
Appreciate it.
committee, but they're powerful.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you for considering it.
Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Dude, not- we didn't
All right.
consider it. We just passed it.
Just-
Yeah, right. Thank you for passing it.
There you go.
All right,
right.
see you all soon.
So we
Okay.
have an add-on here, authorize the execution of stormwater facility maintenance agreement for North County Homes 5 Cardinal Way. This was presented to me from Steve Warfel, the engineering department. I'd like to make a motion to allow the supervisor to execute.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So moved. Okay, on to Parks and Recreation. Request for the approval to purchase the following per memo dated August 22nd, 2023 from Steve Ralston, Superintendent of Parks and Recs. I think we can put all A, B, and C all in one. John Deere mower in the amount of 15,918 spot 13 on a state contract bid. B, a tow behind leaf and debris vacuum in the amount of 12,499.
Oof.
We also got that from the state contract bid. And backpack blowers and string trimmers for the amount of 4,802 on a county contract to replace and increase our inventory.
He didn't say how many he'll get for that, yeah? Did
He didn't say how many would get. He might,
he? Okay. I didn't.
he did
see it.
not, it's not on there.
Okay. I was
Um,
wondering how many we get per each one costs, but
Let me see, isn't it? No.
no.
Okay.
Kudos for getting 38 years out of the last.
Yeah.
Yes, on a per year basis.
Yeah, so replace the 1985 unit. That is pretty good. I'll make the motion to approve A, B, and C.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
So moved. Okay, no financial business, no highway. Personnel, there are still some current vacancies. Affordable Housing Board, Partners in Prevention, the Veterans Committee, and the Library Board of Trustees. If you want to be on one of those boards, please let us know and we'll set up a time to meet. Let's move on to number 3 here. Authorize a promotion of Jeannie Garrity from part-time senior account clerk to probationary full-time senior bookkeeper in the town of Somers Finance Department at grade 7A, step 3 of the CSEA contract and an annual salary of $71,511 per memo dated August 29th, 2023 from Robert Kehoe, Director of Finance, effective September 5th, 2023, contingent upon the successful results of a physical, drug test, reference, and background checks. She's been with us for on a part-time basis. She does a lot of work for them. She's definitely worth her weight. She comes to us number 1 on the list, and we have her in-house, which is great.
Can you imagine, number 1 on the list? She's fully qualified, if not, I mean, overqualified.
Mhm.
And there's
I think this is a big win.
And she's got a great last name.
no,
No relation.
On that merit alone.
I was gonna say, no relation.
no
relation.
nepotism. And
Thanks.
she will be due retroactive pay.
Yeah, she will be due retroactive pay.
Right.
Yes. I'll make the motion to authorize a promotion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Moved. 4, authorize the hiring of Toby Linder as a contingent permanent full-time senior office assistant auto assist in the town of Somers Building Department at grade 4A, step 4, CSEA contract, and annual salary of $54,427 per memo dated September 1st, 2023. From Thomas J. Tuma, Building Inspector, effective September 18th. 2023, contingent upon successful results of physical drug test, reference and background checks. So I'd like to make the motion to authorize the hiring of Toby Linder.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And then also acknowledge the hiring of Peter Morgan as a probationary full-time road maintainer in the town of Somers Highway Department at a starting salary until union contract determination of $52,314 at 90% of the $58,349 with an hourly rate of 25.2473 for the 6 months, and then we'll receive 95 after 26 weeks. Upon completion of the 1 year, you receive full-time salary rate per memo dated August 15th, 2023 from Nicholas DeVito, Superintendent of Highways, effective 21st of August, contingent upon the successful results of a physical drug test, reference, background, and driver's license checks. So we're making acknowledge there.
Second.
All in
All in favor?
Aye.
So move.
Get along.
That's fine. Keep going.
That's fine.
Keep
Let's keep going, keep going, keep going. Planning and engineering, police, no additional
Fun
business.
facts.
Proposed consensus agenda. If anybody has any objections, we'll move that to next week.
Yeah, it's long.
We have our public hearings for September 14th at 7 PM. Our municipal facilities. We also have to amend a zoning, community shopping. And also a public hearing for exemption for volunteer firefighters and ambulance workers. And that is on the 14th. Followed by 2 other town board meetings, October 5th and October 12th, both starting at 7 PM. And then November 19th, both 7 PM, and then we'll get into December at that time. We do have some announcements. Read those announcements. We're doing pretty well.
There's a lot going on this month. Everything's starting up again.
September is suicide prevention month. Time to raise awareness for suicide prevention and treatment. You can go to our website, somersny.com, and use mental health assistance and information. Or you can also text NAMI to 741-741 to be connected to a free trained crisis counselor on the crisis text line. So that September is suicide prevention month. Number two, Patriot Day Remembrance Ceremony organized by the Somers Historical Society, and that is Monday, September 11th, 9:30 AM, and that's at Bailey Park. It will be in the Unity Garden. We do have Celebrate Somers, which is Saturday, September 23rd, 10 AM to 3 PM, and that's in the Somers Town Center. And that's and then also we have Westchester County Household Recycling Day, Sunday, September 17th. And that is 9 AM to 3 PM, Charles Point Resource Recovery Facility at 3 John Walsh Boulevard. That's in Peekskill, New York. Westchester County Executive George Latimer invites you to a multilingual job fair. That is Thursday, September 28th, 9 to 12, the Little Theater at the Westchester County Center, 198 Central Ave, White Plains, New York. Apply for a U.S. passport with the help of from the Westchester County Clerk's Office, and that is Tuesday, October 3rd. And you can do that at Reese Park from 10 to 1. Sustainable Westchester Energy Smart Homes Workshop. Learn to decarbonize your home, heating and cooling, and that is October 12th, Thursday, from 7 to 8 PM at the Somers Library. And then then we have the Westchester County Mobile Shredder coming back to Somers October 17th. That's 10 to 1, and that again is at Reese Park as well.
The shredder.
I do not have anything else, but do you have any fun facts for this evening?
Okay, and so, let me turn my mic on. I like to keep my fun facts short and sweet. Unfortunately, tonight's not gonna,
Uh-oh.
well, it's not gonna be that long.
Go as long as you want, Patty.
So,
Sad to me, Tom.
No.
on Monday, 219 years ago, Richard Somers had lost his life during the assault on Tripoli in the first
Barbary.
Barbary War. Thank you. I've only practiced this 5 times. So that happened on September 4th in 1904. Since not 1904, 1804. Since 1804, 6 naval ships have been named SS Somers in his honor. The town of Somers, which is located in Westchester County, was also named in his honor. Originally, we were Stevenstown. I know you all know this, but just I'm getting to a point. Originally, we were Stevenstown, which was also Rensselaer County. And to alleviate the confusion, the name was changed in 1808 to Somers in honor of Richard Somers, naval captain from New Jersey, who died in blah, blah, blah. Okay.
There's a.
And there is a memorial in West Somers Park that was erected in his honor and dedicated on Memorial Day, 1958. There is a Somers Point, New Jersey, but what that is actually named after his grandfather.
Hmm.
The Tripoli Monument is the oldest military monument in the United States, and it is it's in the honor of the men who lost their lives on that first battle. And it was located in the Washington Navy Yard. And then it was erected in 1808, then later moved to the United States Capitol facing the National Mall in 1831, and to its final resting place where it's still today, Annapolis campus.
And
And-
isn't there a bust of him in the cemetery?
You can't find that on Wikipedia.
Oh, sorry. If you're ever
There is.
there's a bust.
That is a
of
bust
Eric
of-
Somers there.
But this was fitting because this was, Monday was the 219th anniversary of his passing, and he was 26 years old.
Wow.
And I think we also have,
Oh. gee.
don't we have a key on the wall here from the other Somers Point?
But the fact that
They were here.
it's actually not named for
Yeah,
him,
that's funny.
it's his great
That,
grandfather.
that is fun.
Great.
I thought it was him.
Yeah,
Wow.
Good fun fact.
Thank you, Patty.
Oh,
Outstanding.
geez.
Good fun fact.
Something to
Really
be proud of.
it's a little Richard Somers history. I'm sorry it was long-winded.
Great though. Great. Well, on that.
Just-
Thank you very much.
Just quick note, congratulations and good luck to all the returning and incoming new students to the school year. Special good luck to Thomas Byrne, who's going to be in the class of 2024, which means this whole century is almost through with its first quarter. So best of luck to a great school year, and hopefully the Tuskers repeat in football.
Mhm.
Play tomorrow
And
night.
it wasn't a touchdown. Let's just make.
Oh, that wasn't even close. Wasn't even
His
close.
knee was down.
His knee was kind of.
Yeah, and I had to talk been nice about Jersey tonight. Oh,
So,
Go ahead.
yeah, just quickly, school started. Everybody be careful with speeding.
Yes.
The buses now either have or are going to have, the ability
Cameras.
to measure speed and issue summonses. So,
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, so that's up and coming. But just be careful around the bus stops and take it easy.
Yeah, especially through center of town, right around 3 o'clock, you'll see a lot of kids walking to Bobo's and to Chico's, and so right during the center of town between 3 and 3:30. We just ask you to just pay close attention to those kids walking to those places.
Yeah.
Anybody else?
Rob.
Tom?
No, 20 minutes football game. So.
Yeah,
Good.
good luck to both the Jets and Giants fans. Yeah, in 20 minutes, it'll be
I'll be there Monday night.
season.
Oh, will you?
I'll be there Monday night.
Is
yeah.
Aaron Rodgers playing?
He is.
Of course.
Or is he out watching, looking for UFOs? 'Cause He said he's seen them. He's seen them.
On that, I'm gonna make a motion to close out the Somerstown Board work session
Second.
on Thursday, September 7th.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.